Hi, I'm Chandra Proffitt.
And I'm Jeremiah Proffitt.
Welcome to another episode of Proffitt's Resurrection Land Cruisers TV.
So if you're a fan and you watch all of our episodes, this might seem like deja vu to you because this red FJ40 that's right behind us looks like the one we featured in the last episode, but
it's not. It's true, they both are freeborn red FJ40 full body off restorations, but Jeremiah is going to tell you a little bit more about why they're different in a little bit.
But first, Chandra's going to tell you about a stage 2 FJ40 restoration that's sitting right in front of us.
Most of the restorations featured on Proffitt's Resurrection Land Cruisers TV are Stage 3 restorations. However, we do offer a Stage 2 restoration like this 1982 FJ40 right behind me. On the front of the rig, we added a PRLC replica winch bar with an 8274 worn winch. Other additions to this FJ40 restoration include a vintage Gen 4 AC and a retro stereo. For the Land Cruiser purists watching this video, I'm sure you've noticed that the wheels are not year correct. The customer chose this look, but don't worry, we powder coated the original wheels white and they'll be going with the rig.
Why are we doing this?
We don't have anybody else to do it.
If you know of any upholstery people who want to come work here,
Please.
or just please send them.
Yeah.
Luckily we have a fabricator, Alex, he switches his job from fabricator to fabricator and takes this home on his lunch hour and darts the corners for us. But really what we need is an upholstery person. If you're watching and you're a good upholstery person and you want to come work here in Shangri-La and have fun with all of us all the time, call me. We'll put you on. We have a perfect place for you. We have an upstairs upholstery shop area. Yeah. Your own bathroom, swamp cooler, lush accommodations. Get Bob out of doing stupid. And now stupid shit with Bob. We don't like to draw attention to the negative, but we love these vehicles so much, sometimes we just have to point out things that weren't done right so that we can try to prevent things from happening to Land Cruisers in the future, or any vehicle for that matter, that should have been done differently. So we were introducing a new segment called Stop It.
Stop it.
Stop it! Stop it!
This episode, Stop It, is about this FJ40 body tub that was just not fixed correctly before bodywork was done. What you're seeing right here is a bare metal body tub that we just brought back from sandblast, but the shame of it was this thing had just been painted. It's a recent paint job that somebody had done a whole bunch of bad sheet metal work to. I'm going to try to help you understand how to do sheet metal work a little bit better. What these people did wrong here is that they lapped these two pieces of sheet metal. In other words, they put them beside each other like that, and then these holes were where they were riveted together at one point. In fact, they had left the rivets in, and then they welded across the top like that. When you splice sheet metal together, they need to be butted together like that. So when you grind them flat, they're flat on the inside and on the outside. It's almost impossible to tell that there was ever a sheet metal patch done there. Overlapping sheet metal patches aren't even the only bad thing. This is cancerous rust. These are holes drilled to pull dents out. None of this is ready for body work. This is going to take so much body filler to cover all of this that it is going to fail. It'll crack and it'll fall off. Also on the quarter panels of this FJ40, like all of them, a lot of work has been done. Also not ready for body work. If you find something this, what's the word, cellulose. If you find something this cellulose on the side of a Land Cruiser or any vehicle, and you're gonna require maybe up to 1/4 of an inch of body filler to fill those, it's just not ready. These dents would be pretty simple to remove with a hammer and dolly. You got to get this a lot flatter before it's ready for bodywork. Do not put that much Bondo on anything. There's more overlapping patches on the tops of the wheel wells on each side, some rust that was never even fixed. Also, you could put some do-it-yourself bed liner on the inside of this that didn't hide it anyway. You can also see that these people, I'm not sure why, but they decided to shave all the original dash holes. Here they at least made a flush mounting patch that butts up to the other sheet metal, like I mentioned earlier, but they didn't weld it all the way around. And so these holes were just full of body filler. When you put in a metal patch, you have to weld it all the way around. Otherwise it's gonna crack here and here and here and here and here and here. The body filler, sheet metal is gonna move. The body filler can't move, so it's gonna crack. That right there needed to be done right. And by the way, that right there never needed to be cut out in the first place. These aren't hot rods. Let's not shave our dashes flat like this. No, no, no. What is this? If you're doing work like this, stop it.
Stop it! Stop it! My foot's starting to tingle.
Really? So you have a pinched nerve.
I got sciatica real bad. Yeah.
I don't know.
Pinched nerve.
Oh. I said that. That's what I said. I got you diagnosed, Randy. I hope you feel better.
The doctor charges a lot more to call it sciatica.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We all appreciate. We all want you to feel better. Get better, Randy.
Will do.
Feel better, Randy. Really, I can prove that this isn't the same Land Cruiser as the one from the last episode because it has a completely different engine. But other than that, it's super, super similar to the 74 FJ40 we featured last time. This is a 73 FJ40 that we restored for the original owner and their son. For starters, this engine compartment is completely different from the last one. This is a gas engine, and it's a very common engine conversion for us on the all Toyota DNA restorations that we like to do. It's a 3FE from a 1989 FJ62. And we have rebuilt this 3FE as well as cosmetically restored all of its components. We like to powder coat all of the aluminum components, this color, which is called anodized silver, and it looks like aluminum, but it lasts a lot longer. This coating is going to keep these from tarnishing and dying back, so the engine compartment will look beautiful long into the future. And we've also re-anodized or re-zinced all of the fasteners, fittings, brake lines, clamps, everything on the engine, so that it has a super fresh look that'll also last. Something that's also different about this engine compartment, you'll notice the FJ80 master cylinder. That's because this rig has four-wheel disc brakes. This FJ80 master cylinder would be from a 1990 through 92 version, which is the best year for the disc brake setups that we use. One other really unique thing about this Land Cruiser is behind this 3FE, we have an original FJ62 A440F automatic transmission. The client wanted it an automatic. Makes most sense to keep all the Toyota DNA together, and it also has the push button four-wheel drive transfer case from the FJ62, and I'll show you that in just a second. So someone actually said to me when we were building this rig on the phone that they didn't think that the A440 in a split case would fit in an FJ40, and I'll show you how we were able to make that happen. But you can see the transmission and FJ62 transfer case and a pretty sizable rear drive shaft, good length for low vibration. So how we make room for that extra long transmission is like we do in almost all of our body off restorations that get an engine conversion. We flipped the rear springs 180 degrees, moving the axle back 3.5 inches, and then we take the original wheel well opening, or in some cases an aftermarket wheel well opening, and we just move it back 3.5 inches within the panel. This gives you a little bit wider section of the body right here from the front of the wheel well opening to this seam. It's subtle, but that modification really helps in a couple of different ways. Not only do we have room for a longer transmission, but the extra long wheelbase gives us higher speed capability, it's more stable on the road, and off-road to get a better departure angle. It's a win-win. So up front on this FJ40, we have our Proffitt Resurrection Land Cruiser's off-road winch bar, sporting an 8274 Warn winch and two rigid 6-inch light bars. The suspension on this FJ40 is an Old Man Emu 2.5 inch with our shackle reversal, and then of course the reversed rear springs. And on the rear of this Land Cruiser, we have a Proffitt Resurrection Land Cruiser's dual swing out rear bumper. Another similarity to the last FJ40 we showed you on episode 40 was an ambulance door retrofit. We did the same exact thing on this. This being a 73 FJ40, it would have originally had a hatch and then two little barn door tailgates on the bottom. That's a cool setup because when you take the top off, it's really easy because you don't have to remove ambulance doors and store them and then fill this gap with some other contraption. But let's face it, ambulance doors are nicer for ingress and egress, getting in and out. So this client wanted ambulance doors like a 75 and later FJ40 would have had. So to do that, we just supplied them with FJ40 hard top pieces from a 75 and later, and then down here on the bottom, we installed a newer rear sill. The rear sill always has to come out anyway. You might as well put in a little bit newer one if you're gonna do this retrofit, and then you hand form this 90-degree lift so that the ambulance doors have a nice recess to close into. So it's a far more common than you would think feature that we do on some of our restorations. Inside of this FJ40, there's really only one difference to what we've been normally doing, and that is that we retained the original gauge cluster on this instead of going with the Dakota Digital. But this has all of the features of some of the other restorations that we do, including the retro audio stereo, and then our ashtray switch panel, which in this case supports an interior light switch, a camp light switch, and also the push button 4-wheel drive. And then we've got a custom dash bezel on the glove box door, as well as our Gen 4 AC system. And then, the most unique thing about the interior, an automatic transmission shifter. This one with a custom 3D printed base that trims it out nicely up against the floor. This FJ40 also sports our standard 6-point family roll cage, as well as our modified custom Tuffy box and leather seating front and rear.
Thanks again for watching another episode of Proffitt's Resurrection Land Cruisers TV. Please like us and subscribe. That will really help us out.
That's right. Our videos get not enough attention for the quality they are, and everybody says that. So the more subscribers and shares we can get, the better. Also, check us out on our Instagram feed @ProCruiser, and Facebook is Proffitt'sResurrectionLandCruisers.com. Thanks for watching. Feel with the gloves on.
I feel easier with the gloves on.
You can?
Yeah, because it's a buffer between the panel and my hand.
I would put a glove on so I could see, but with the shortage of gloves, I better not waste a glove.
A handful of times, poor bastard.
Well, it was leaking somewhere.
Well, so in the picture, I can't unlock this phone, but there's...
It was unlocked a second ago.
Well, I can't open it. You have to put in a passcode. In the picture...
Luckily, I'm a master cell phone safe cracker.